This is an additional video that I am inserting here as a reminder for all my students in all my courses as to what procedure to take for each of the days that you log in to the Sakai workshop and begin to work out what's listed on the calendar, the forum, and the syllabus. I want to put a special emphasis on this part, the student critique, because this part right here is really where, aside from the exams, where a lot of your grade is going to depend. And so I want to discuss this, although I want to make very clear at the beginning, and I'll say this again, don't let what is going on here distract you from the absolute incumbent need to do well on your midterm and your final exams. You really need both of these to go well in order to do well, and so I'll come back to that again, but this is just for format purposes. But again, this is not in any way meant to distract you from the importance of the midterm and the final exams. Okay, so once again, when you log into each of the sessions when you're going to meet, when you're watching this video, by the way, you'll just be getting underway with the second session of the course that you're taking. So that means that you've completed the introductory section, and now you're getting ready to actually get going on the course itself. But this is just a reminder again so that you know what is expected. So when you log in, you should have completed all the readings of whatever texts you were expected to read for that particular day. Check your syllabus, look at the calendar at the end of it, and look at the ancient works that are there, or any textbooks that you have to read, such as the Harris Plaster textbook if you're taking the CLA 395 course. And be sure you've read that before you log on. Then, when you log on, find the links for the videos like this one that are listed on the calendar or on the YouTube video link page on the Sakai workshop, and watch all those videos. After that, you'll be ready to do the forum assignment. The forum assignment is usually a discussion question. It's usually one discussion question out of a group that's either in a textbook or on a page that I've provided for you, or it can be some other extra assignment like a video day, Athens day, presentation, point of view, that type of assignment. Okay, and those are, of course, differ from among the courses and are described to you in individual videos in those courses. Okay, so that's forum assignments. Now, here's the critical thing I want to make sure is clear to everybody so that there is no confusion. The forum assignments, which are your own entries on the forums, need to be entered in direct text, as by the way do these. Both of them have to be entered in direct text. And the forum assignments need to be entered by the due date given to you on the forum calendar and syllabus. Okay, so if, for instance, I'll just make this up. Suppose one of the dates that you have something due in is October 13th, which happens to be my birthday. Okay, so suppose that's a date, and that just is just a random date picked, except that it is my birthday. If that were the date listed on the forum calendar and syllabus, you would have to get your forum assignment in by that date. Okay? By the way, if the midterm or the final happen to be due on that specific date or whatever other dates it might be, it must be in by that date. Anything that is late starts receiving deductions. Okay? As explained in the grading video, it's usually 1 point if it's late. It's 5 points if it's missed completely, not submitted by the end of the course. And in the case of the midterm or the final, anything that's late gets 10 points off for each day late after the due date. Okay, but the forum assignments have to be submitted by their dates. Student critiques do not have to be submitted immediately on those same dates. They may be submitted later than the dates, as long as you are careful to get one student critique in by the end of the course for each session that the course meets. So it's probably once a week if it's a school year course, or it's 3 or 4 sessions a week for a summer course, whichever semester you're taking. Okay, but you must get, for each session, you must get one student critique in to another student's entry, as well as complete your forum assignment. Okay, for those weeks when there are forum assignments due. This, of course, does not apply to a midterm or a final week. Okay, so that's what is essential here. Okay, Now, when you do student critiques, what you need to do is, first of all, again, complete everything else, and then look over what the student has read and make a response based on something that you like about what the student has written. If you can add some additional detail, like something in the story that you think is relevant to what the student was commenting on, that's really great. It's really awesome if you're able to cite some specific passages, because that's the kind of thing that I'm really looking for on your, especially on your midterm or final. So that's really good. If you disagree with a student, you want to point out another thought, you're welcome to do that, as long as we talked about in the previous video and is on the syllabus, as long as you remain respectful of tone. We don't want any noisy altercations between students in cyberspace, obviously. Okay, so, and again, disciplinary action can be taken for anybody who violates that. So, be respectful of tone, always. Feel free to disagree with those students, and you're welcome to go back and forth with the students as much as each of you could tolerate it. And of course, any friendly conversation between you is also great. And again, you're welcome to make as many entries as possible, as much as you have time for. And bear in mind, as you do make your entries, that I'm going to be evaluating those just loosely based on the ability to prove what you're saying, demonstrate that you actually know what you're talking about, that you're able to disagree with somebody in a well-informed way or agree with them in a well-informed way, that you understand what they're talking about, and so forth. All these things are going to matter as far as how I read your student responses, and may go to that 20% of the grade. Now, there's one last thing that I'm going to put here on Sakai that I haven't talked about in the previous videos yet, and that is the grade book. I'm going to be using the grade book in addition to the actual grades that you get on exams, also to tabulate the responses that you put, so that you know that you've put in a response that makes the attendance. I don't typically actually grade specific form assignments or responses. The grade book is simply going to be used to do tabulation so that you'll see, yes, it's in. And then in addition to that, I will also post the grades for the midterms and eventually the final exam. I can also use the grade book to post course grades, and you'll be able to see those as well. You can also, of course, email me if you have any questions about your grade as you go along. But pay attention to the grade book to know that you have gotten your student critiques in properly. If you see that something is missing, make sure you go back and get it entered. And then once I see that you've got your student critique in, then I will tabulate that on the grade book, and you'll be all set with that. Okay, so make sure you're following this format consistently for each class session, and if you do that properly, then you should be in optimum shape for your grades. Okay, thanks so much, and we'll see you next video.